Have you ever faced a moment where success came at the cost of your self-respect? Today, we're diving into the incredible story of Tanya Wells, a Black woman CEO who chose dignity over dollars in a high-stakes boardroom battle. This isn't just about business, it's about power, prejudice, and the courage to walk away when everything's on the line. Before we begin, drop a comment. What would you do in her shoes? Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more empowering stories from Fairyland. Let us get into it. It was a crisp morning in New York City on October 1, 2025, when Tanya Wells stepped into the towering Whitaker Tower, her heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and resolve. As the CEO of Innovatech Solutions, a tech firm she built from a garage startup into a powerhouse revolutionizing AI for healthcare, Tanya had poured her soul into this day. The $900 million deal with the Whitaker family would not only fund global expansion but also cement her as a trailblazer in a male-dominated industry. Years of 18-hour days, sacrificed family time, and battling systemic barriers had led to this moment. But as she entered the sleek conference room, lined with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the skyline, she felt the air shift. The Whitakers' William, the arrogant patriarch, his son, Edward, with a smug grin, and daughter, Victoria, her eyes cold and calculating, greeted her with judgmental stares that made her skin prickle. Tanya had researched the Whitakers, a billionaire dynasty with investments in tech, real estate, and finance, known for their ruthlessness. William, in his late 60s, exuded old money privilege, his tailored suit a symbol of untouchable power. They built their empire on deals that favored them, often at the expense of partners they deemed lesser. Tanya knew this wasn't just business, it was a test of her resilience against the subtle and not-so-subtle biases that plagued women of color in corporate America. She smoothed her navy power suit, her natural curls pulled into a professional updo, and took her seat, projecting confidence despite the knot in her stomach. The meeting started cordially, with handshakes and small talk about market trends. Tanya presented her pitch flawlessly, highlighting Innovatech's patented AI algorithms that had already saved lives in pilot programs with hospitals worldwide. The numbers were impeccable, projected returns of 300% within 5 years, partnerships with major players like Google and Mayo Clinic. But as she spoke, the Whitakers' expression soured. William interrupted first. "Ms. Wells, let us cut to the chase. Your credentials are impressive on paper. But can you really manage a deal of this magnitude?" His tone dripped with doubt, his eyes scanning her as if searching for flaws. Tanya maintained her composure. "Mr. Whitaker, my track record speaks for itself. We've secured $500 million in contracts last year alone, with a 98% client retention rate." Edward leaned forward, smirking. "Sure, but how do we know this isn't just luck? The tech world is volatile. What if your innovations flop?" Victoria chimed in, her voice icy. "And frankly, your background coming from a small town, no Ivy League pedigree raises questions. We need assurance you're up to our standards." The room grew tense. Tanya felt the weight of their scrutiny, the unspoken implication hanging heavy. As a Black woman, she had to prove herself twice over. William then demanded her ID twice, claiming verification protocols, a humiliation no white male CEO would face. The attacks escalated. William mocked her achievements, scoffing, "Your company's success is admirable for someone like you, but let us be honest, it's a fluke in this industry." He questioned her firm's future, implying her leadership was unstable. The breaking point came when William, without shame, demanded formal documentation of her education, not verbal, but physical papers presented to the board. "We can't take risks with unverified claims," he said, his eyes boring into her. It was a direct assault on her identity, her intellect diminished because of her race and gender. The executives watched, silent, as the humiliation unfolded in this public spectacle. Tanya's blood boiled, her mind racing. This deal was her dream, a $900 million infusion to scale her AI tech globally, potentially saving millions in underserved communities. She sacrificed everything: missed birthdays, health scares from stress, isolation from friends. It wasn't just money, it was validation, a declaration that a Black woman from humble beginnings could conquer the world. But at what cost? The Whitakers had belittled her, their microaggressions a constant erosion of her dignity. Was success worth trading her self-respect? In a flash of clarity, Tanya realized no. She wasn't just representing Innovatech, she stood for every woman, every person of color overlooked in boardrooms. Compromising now would betray them all. With calm resolve, Tanya stood, gathering her papers. "I'm sorry, but this partnership isn't going to work. I'm canceling the deal." William's face flushed. "You can't be serious. This is your big break." His voice rose, trying to salvage it with condescension. But Tanya was unwavering. "I don't need your approval to succeed. I've built this company with my hands, my vision, my integrity. You've made it clear you don't respect me, and I want to do business with people who don't." The room fell silent, her words a thunderclap. She walked out, head high, leaving the Whitakers stunned. This wasn't a loss, it was reclaiming her power. The aftermath was immediate. News leaked: Black CEO walks from $900 million deal over Whitaker family's disrespect. Social media exploded, hashtags like #RespectTanya trending. Supporters praised her courage, critics called it reckless. But Tanya didn't waver. Her company thrived, securing new partnerships with firms that valued her. The Whitakers faced backlash, their arrogance exposed, losing deals as partners distanced themselves. Tanya's story inspired a movement, empowering minorities in business to demand respect. She founded a mentorship program for women of color, turning her stand into a legacy of resilience. Success, she learned, wasn't measured in dollars, but in dignity preserved. Was Tanya's decision inspiring? Comment below, what would you have done? Like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more empowering stories. See you next time.